Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschyatyade Shatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I welcome all of you affectionately for today's Compassion Tuesday. We have just driven for a long time, maybe 7 to 8 hours, and have just made it in time because really this program is of great importance, I feel, for us personally as well as for the world. Before I start, I need to say that last Compassion Tuesday, the technique was not compassionate towards us. We had a lapse, somehow the internet died for a second, or a little longer actually. If this should happen today, which we don't think and we don't hope, please do not lose patience. We will immediately restart everything and then be back within a minute or two on this YouTube channel. As we were driving, something very significant for me happens. A devotee phoned me, and they were really enthusiastic to report that they had gone today to a person who is lying on her deathbed. First, when they entered the house and the nurse let them in, they were shocked to see, the person on the deathbed just not recognizing anything. But they had taken part in the Compassion Tuesday, so they sat next to the person, started to chant, and after maybe 3 or, no, it was longer, 5 or 10 minutes, I don't remember at the moment, the person started to shine. Yes, the whole room was filled with the shining of the person. The person was so happy, so energized, so absolutely uplifted. And Sita, who told me about this, described that this was really a deep, deep moment in her own spiritual life. When you see that your kind actions make another person shine or activate the spiritual power which is attacked at that moment when you die, then you become yourself very much nourished and you shine forth. Compassion is a very important emotion, and it is an emotion which is sometimes covered. It is always there, but it needs to be reactivated. Joy in this world comes from wanting others to be happy. And all suffering in this world comes when wanting oneself to be happy. You might ask, why is it that kindness and compassion towards others makes oneself happy? The answer is that we are relational beings. Strangely, people have forgotten that, and they only cultivate the I, and me, and mine. Through compassion and kindness, we move from the troubled I, the small I always say, to the bigger picture, the we. And we come in contact with our spiritual nature of being relational beings who really come alive in a relation. Now, it is said that when you activate this spirit of kindness and compassion within yourself, you very quickly leave the circle of the ego, the I, and you come to the we. This is a great, great benefit. Now, today I would like to talk about an aspect of compassion, or let us say a pre-runner of compassion, that is kindness. Compassion responds primarily to a person when they are suffering, but kindness is the wish that others be happy, even if they are fine at the moment or not suffering. Kindness, in other words, is something which is all the time active, and kindness is for everyone. It extends a little bit, let us say, longer and a little bit further than compassion. It comes in the same category, really, but it is something which we can do every day, like helping others. Doesn't always need to be so dramatic as moving into a dying person's room and chanting for them. I must say the dying person was open for this. It was an open person, a little bit aware person. So it could mean to simply stay a little bit longer with someone who wants to talk to you, or just helping them in small ways. When you go and you are at a lecture or at a place and you are thirsty, instead of just taking a glass of water for yourself, you could take 2 glasses of water, one for another person and one for you. Kindness, in other words, is something which can cultivate it in small little gestures, small little things every day. The scriptures are very emphatic about this, or very insistent on this. In the Bhagavatam, in the 4th canto, chapter 14, text 12, yes, we hear a little bit about how saintly people think. The saintly people think, of course, we are I lost, here it is here. The great sage, the sages think that although we are quite peaceful as far as our life is concerned, and we are equal to everyone, it is still not our duty to neglect others. By such neglect, spiritual person's spiritual power diminishes, just as water kept in a cracked pot leaks out. When you are not able to be kind, when you are just thinking about your own self, your spiritual power will leave you as if you are a cracked pot. Cracked pot means like a clay pot like this, which has a crack, and then all the water leaves the clay pot very easily. Really, this is not acceptable for a spiritual person to think only about I. The spiritual person has a big we. In this we, there are other people, there are also animals, and the birds. I like this very much. I'm living in this little ashram by the lake, and when it was winter, now the spring is coming, I would see every morning my neighbor who lives above us in an apartment above us. He's a spiritual person, he's a devotee also. I saw him coming in his sleeping dress out of the house and putting some seeds into a little bird house so that the birds would take their regular breakfast there. Yes, our ashram takes care not only of human beings but of animals as well, birds, fishes, swans, and so on. Because once again, by moving from the I to the we, a great spiritual journey is done. A journey by which you focus on the equality of all beings. That is a spiritual feature, the equality in all beings, in their happiness and in their distress, in their various life situations, and so on. If you want to mature, move as quick as possible from the little circle of I to the vast circle of we. That is a real spiritual education. That is real spiritual maturity. That kindness is something which can be done every day in small acts, like the ones which I want to describe a little at the end. Now, my dear everyone, let me just look. Yes, it's a good time now to start our meditation. But because we were driving, I'm just getting my things together. I will request Gaur Krishna, who's here with me, to go to my writing desk. And when you are before it, here it is coming already. Then on the right side, there is the compassion meditation. Another assistant is giving it. So good. We are ready now. I request all of you to find a comfortable position before your computer. Kindly relax now. This will be a good time. It's a time where you move from the I to the vastness of the we. You might like to put your hands on your knees like this. You can sit on the floor or on your chair. The main thing is that your spine is straight. Why? Because when the spine is aligned, then somehow all the organs find their proper place. The lung moves very easily, and you send a signal to your brain that you will now be attentive, not distracted, and meditate. Before we start, relax your shoulders a little bit. That's where we store a lot of tension. You can just roll them back like I'm doing here. I would like to stretch a little bit by taking your hands in the Charleston position. Charleston is an old dance. And just stretching, just so that the energies, blood and everything else pranic energies can move. And now, if you're ready, take 5 deep and audible breaths. In and out. In through the nose and out through the mouth. This will quickly energize you. Deep, energetic breaths. And now just breathe normally, naturally. Be a little mindful of your breath. When you breathe in, know that you breathe in. When you breathe out, know that you breathe out. All the breaths now are taken through the nose. If you have not done so already, now slowly close your eyes, please. Your body should be completely relaxed during the meditation. Your attention, however, is sharp, focused, and in general, you're alert. On the next inhale, be mindful of the air that surrounds you. Whenever you breathe in, the surrounding air enters you. And whenever you breathe out, you give back to the ocean of air around you. When you breathe in, you take in the subtle energy in the air, the prana. Whenever you breathe out, you relax a little bit further. Now shift your attention, please, to the area in which the heart is located. Consciously breathe into the heart. You could take the image that the air which comes into your nose travels down to your heart. And whenever you breathe out, tell yourself to relax by remaining seated in an erect position. It's so good to be alive. Remain in that inner space, and now think of some people who may need your kindness. Think of people who you feel would benefit from the kindness that comes from you. Maybe until now you have not given attention enough to these people, but now evoke their image before your eyes. It could be one person, it could be two, it could actually also be an animal or animals. Think of a living being, a breathing living being who would benefit from your kindness. Connect with the kindness in the heart. Let us meditate. Just like me, people of this world, the beings of this world seek happiness. Just like me, the beings of this world are trying to avoid suffering. Just like me, the beings in this world have known anxiety, loneliness, even despair. Just like me, all beings are seeking to fulfill their needs. And just like me, others are simply learning in life. Kindly remain in the space and now send your good wishes, your kindness, your compassion to the people you have in mind. May all be safe. May all be healthy. May all be happy. And may everyone live at ease. Very good. Please rub your hands. Bring them to your eyes. And then away from your eyes. Look in your hands as if you see the lines on your palms for the first time. Whenever we do this meditation, the energy really changes. As I have said at other programs, when I do this in big halls, I remember once we did something like this with politicians from, I think, 2 political parties in Croatia. And the energy really calmed down. I would like, before we sing together, to introduce the singing. Remember, when we heard in this text that if you neglect other people's and you just don't take care of them, your own spiritual power, which has accumulated due to spiritual practices, leaves you. It leaves your heart like water leaves a cracked pot. You become empty inside if you only think of the I. What does it mean to be active then for the welfare of others? I have often thought like this. I have been part in my youth in various political demonstrations. I have been part in, for instance, demonstrating for the rights of people who were imprisoned due to their religious beliefs. And as much as I think that those who feel a strong calling to go into that direction in order to help, I have also another, perhaps even more powerful way to suggest. I'm taking this from my spiritual master, who said in this present age, spiritual people don't have as much power as they used to have in other ages. Then he concludes, under these circumstances, instead of actively taking part in politics, saintly persons should engage in chanting the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna. By the grace of Lord Chaitanya, by simply chanting this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the general populace can derive all benefits immediately. Through chanting, an imperceptible blessing is spread that dissolves the avidya, the ignorance which is there. So those who have a calling and who have a nature, they might like to engage in external demonstrations of their views, but I think also these very active kind of people should not neglect to chant, sit down to meditate for the benefit of others. And sometimes this has amazing power. I'm not saying leave one for the other. I'm saying do both if you feel the need. I now want to invite all of us to chant the spiritual sound vibrations for 10 minutes or so, and as we do, to focus really on the sound vibration, and that this may go very far. Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Everybody please Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. I want to thank you very, very much. Let me just make a little remark in answer to a question which I had to respond to, which I was asked. A man I met said, it's very difficult to feel kindness when I see the other person is not kind themselves. Then I said, someone has to start somewhere. And these things like compassion, kindness, since they are dormant qualities in everyone, they are arisen if someone acts like this. The other day I saw a movie about a duck. It was winter time, the duck was on the ice, and someone had thrown some seeds to the duck. The duck saw the seeds and looked at the water, and there were some fishes who were maybe aware of the seeds, but they were just there. So the duck took the seeds and threw them to the fishes in the water. It was just so touching. And I could see even within the duck, there is this feeling. It needs to be awakened by activities first. Act kind. Even though the heart may not be full of kindness and compassion, act as if. And by these activities, the feelings may arise. Then, the next thing is move kindness and compassion to your speech. Even though you may not yet feel it in the heart, you can talk about the good qualities of others instead of just, how do you say, focus on the bad qualities. And by these two outward things, outwardly acting as if you're kind and compassionate, outwardly speaking as if you are kind and compassionate, something will happen, a shift in your consciousness will happen, and your heart will feel kindness, and then everything is easy. It comes I wanted to end with the teachings of today's wisdom text, the Bhagavatam. Someone who neglects to be kind, someone who neglects to be compassionate, well, they will lose themselves like a pot which has a crack inside and which will then lose all the water inside. It may be good if you practice this compassion and kindness by joining us many times on Compassionate Tuesday. We are already doing this since 2 or 3 years. I have to calculate a little bit, I can tell you next time. And we will continue doing it for the rest of our lives if we get the blessings from above to stay strong in this. I thank you very much. Please join us if you wish and tell your friends for Compassion Tuesday. And even if you have no time to join us, be compassionate at least once in a week on Compassion Tuesday. That will be very good, and it will spread the good idea around to others. Thank you all so much, and all the best for you.